Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's now 10 o'clock. Welcome to this meeting of the Executive Committee. And the first item in the election is the election of the chairman. Can I ask for nominations, Chairman?
I'd like to nominate Councillor Simon Ransom.
And I'll second that. Have any other nominations? Okay, in which case I declare that Simon Rouse is elected chairman of the Executive Committee. Musical chair.
Thank you very much. Can I move to item number 2, which is appointment of vice chairman? Can I ask for any nominations for vice chairman?
That's on my Councillor Keynes.
I'd like to second that. Any other nominations? No. Okay, duly elected. Thank you. Moves to item number 3, apologies for absence.
Councillor Banks and Councillor O'Neill, and we have Councillor Stutchbury substituting for Councillor O'Neill.
Great, thank you. And I think, sorry, yeah, go on.
Apologies, Councillor Hall is currently stuck in a road traffic incident.
Yeah, he's not stuck in it.
He's stuck, he's not involved.
Good, thank you. Moves us to item number 4, minutes of the previous meeting. Any questions as to accuracy? Are we happy with them? As a yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll comment on the chairman. I wasn't present.
Okay. Is that like you though, Robert?
I've got a comment on it if you want me to, but I wasn't present, so I just thought I'd just make that clear.
Right. Thank you very much. Moves us to item number 5, matters arising from the previous meeting. I'm not sure there are any. Yeah, thank you. Disclosures of interest. Are there any disclosable pecuniary interests that members wish to make? No. No, thank you very much. This is rattling through the agenda. We'll be done before Gary gets. Item number 7, questions. Have we had any questions in accordance with standing order?
Chairman.
Thank you. Right, moves us to the first substantive item, the budget monitoring report. I'll hand over to Councillor Walsh.
Thank you, Chairman. Obviously, I will gratefully allow Patrick Massive to take members through any of the granular details. But there's a couple of things as lead member that I would just like to highlight. Obviously, it's a positive provisional outcome, but in the detail of the fact that you refer to page 21, not just the underspend that we have achieved, it's the in-year growth bits in excess of over £500,000 that have enabled us to put money into marketing communications, white ribbon, new PPE protection, and tablets as part of our home fire safety visits. It drives further productivity. And a lot of that has been achieved with things like reduction in bank costs by achieving our 300, full-time equivalent. So I think that's great credit to the service and, Chairman, to you as the authority, because that has been one of your major policies for the year that we did reach that headcount, having the benefit of the budget considered and the surplus well used. So I think credit to everybody, both in the service and the authority, for what has been a very good year overall.
Good, thank you. Who's taking us through? You're taking us to you.
Good morning, members. Councillor, thank you pretty much. And exactly what I was going to say. I could really share my comment that I said pretty much word for word what you just said. But as per the report, there was an underspend of 189k. This is only a small variance of 0.5%. And as Councillor Walsh alluded to, I want to just highlight some of those achievements we've achieved this year. Yes, we did achieve surpassing our establishment by over 300 in September 2023, and since then we have remained over that. The projection level at the end of March 2024 was 308. There has been really positive impact of that, not just in terms of bank, but in terms of truck order, having availability on our appliances, and the positive impact also, in fact, meant that those costs have reduced. I've tried to illustrate that in table 3. You should be able to clearly see bank costs for last year compared to this year. In particular, the last quarter of 2023-24, the bank costs have significantly dropped, and we are actually seeing that flow through into this financial year as well. The other thing I want to bring to your attention, which will be highlighted in next week's O&A meeting, is our treasury returns. We had a budget of only 300k for the year. We actually achieved just under £1 million in treasury returns, which is an overachievement of over 600k. Fantastic job done by the finance team in trying to achieve that. We always try and get the best return possible, obviously taking into account the risks associated with it. But it's been excellent. The base rates For the service, I've been brilliant in terms of the interest rates. Obviously, on an individual basis, it's not great, but in terms of the authority benefiting from that, we have hugely utilised that area of it. And then finally, as council was alluding to, this gave us some opportunities in here. We identified quite early on that we were going to overachieve on treasury, and potentially there may be other underspends. So as early as May 2023, we looked to bring in good year bids, and we allowed the organisation to come in and place bids to put forward. And in May and in August, we had bids of over £500,000 that were approved, and have been some or orders have been placed since then. We're in a really good position in terms of the end of the year. In terms of capital, it is as per the report itself. We've had some good progress in capital projects. In particular, the focus this year was on Unit 7, and you'll be pleased to know that everyone has moved out of Unit 7 now and based the HQ, which is a really good move. And we are now looking at finalising the last bit of Unit 7 and the electricity sort of thing. That's the question.
Thank you. Councillor Stutchbury.
Yeah, well, firstly, thank you for a very refreshing report. Couple of things. We've out of this leaves us in budget planning for the financial year. Are those budget savings now built into the budget, or are they things that we still haven't committed to, which is quite key on planning the reset? And the other thing is we've put all things down for things that quite rightfully we've done, support an organisation, which is much to the credit. Would it be reasonable at this stage, because of the fire service manifesto, to start actually having a budget line for that? Because some of the things in the manifesto I read are easily implemented, and some of them will need to be discussed and changed. So I would think through the chairman whether that's a reasonable aspiration, so that we can actually work through it and try to incorporate what was a good policy into our budget planning for the next financial year. Otherwise, we will miss that opportunity. We've got a little bit of leeway, and I think that would be appropriate to use that leeway to improve the health and safety of our staff. I said if that's a feeling everybody else has, but I think it's a reasonable aspiration. I don't know whether that's something that we agree today, or whether it's something that we have to discuss again.
Mark.
So I'll take the last one first. So in terms of the FU manifesto, we presented the draft community risk management plan to the Fire Authority a few weeks ago. And one of the big opportunities we saw within that was working with the FU on some of their priorities in that. Obviously, you mentioned health and safety is one of them. So that's very much factored into our community risk management plan. During the coming year, as part of preparing for that, we're going to do the zero-based budget exercise again to make sure that everything in our budget is lined up with our priorities. So that very much factored into part of that. And you mentioned around having access to some of the savings that have included bank costs first few months of this year. They're still low. We'll review it over the summer period. Initially, they're higher during those summer months when we take leave. So we'll keep that under review as part of that. Still some uncertainties persisting around whether next year is going to be a one-year rollover in terms of settlement, or whether the government have time to do a full comprehensive spending review. So we're preparing for both scenarios of that one to make sure which way that's going to go. We've had not official confirmation yet around USAR funding. We're getting lots of positive noises around that. We have assumed worst case that we're going to lose it. It's now looking more likely we're going to keep it. So I think there's probably an upside risk there in terms of money available to spend. So my initial feeling is that although we're not awash with money, we're in quite a good position, and certainly a better position than we have been perhaps in any of the last 10 or 12 years since I've been here. So it's looking positive. Got a new CRMP which is due to launch soon, so it all seems like it's coming together. We'll make sure the budget's lined to be able to deliver our priorities over the next 5 years.
Sorry.
Yeah, just wondered to give us the assurance around specifically some of the contamination, contaminants management work. So you're going to reference the EU plan report and its recommendations. Just to give you that assurance, we do have a contaminants management project that's underway in service. There are certain things that are already in place. For example, the BA set washers. So we've got 3 now in place, 3 to come. We're also working our way through the station zoning process. So all of the stations we identified into kind of clean and dirty areas. Now, That does come with its limitations because we have an old, in some cases they're old stations and we need to mitigate those risks as best we can and then look at the longer term property strategy. But also to give you a bit more assurance, we are going to be putting forward some growth bids specifically to pick up some of the contaminants management work in the coming weeks, in fact. So where there's opportunities to make improvements, those growth bids are coming.
So I think I think the bit that I can't remember how we left this at the last Fire Authority meeting, but rather than necessarily picking up the second budget line, I do think that what would be helpful to do is to bring back to the authority meeting what we've done in response to the manifesto, so that we've got real visibility and tracking through. I know there are some things in there where we need to have a debate about whether we are going to be able to do, but there's quite a lot we can do, and I think just having that publicly on record, I think would be helpful. So can we get that to the next authority meeting as an item? Thank you. Councillor Stashby.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Listening to what we said about finance is very cogent. And if we could get to the situation of planning for a 3-year financial package, that would be really good. Will there be opportunity now to go and talk to our local representatives in that field and talk to the government about where we are going to be on that? USAR has been a great success and funded to those who fought to keep that, but we do need to make sure that we actually sing a good song in Buckinghamshire and Milton Keynes to make sure that they, because of our funding situation historically, we need to make sure they recognise that and the size of Buckinghamshire and Milton Keynes are now, but we've got a large part of the growth and probably will get a large part of the growth. So I think that it might be something the chairman will probably take up with the chief of the fire department to make sure that they actually know that Buckinghamshire's needs, aspirations and growth, because it's a big thing to match that. And had the early talks about with the local representatives, MPs, and make them aware of everything that not all of them will know. And I think a talk with the chairman about what our aspirations, commitments and difficulties are would be really good at the earliest opportunity to build those bridges now to make sure that we benefit it through the round, because this isn't a political thing, it's a social, economic and good thing to be doing.
Yeah, no, we will definitely be briefing the members of Parliament. We'll give them a week or so to settle, but we'll definitely do that. And of course, one of them is a former Fire Authority member, so I'm hoping we've got a voice already. Any other questions, Councillor?
Thank you, Chairman. 2 points, one of which is has now taken on the role of lead member for health and safety, and I can assure Sutchbury that health and safety meeting the other week did discuss certain aspects and it is paramount. And I think, as Doug said, making good progress. I think the other point to pick up on what Councillor Walsh said in his introduction, these growth bids, a number of them are really great in the sense that they are buying equipment that we can continue to use. And one of them particularly is the BA cleaning sets, that one we're in control of our cleaning and it's saving us money. So it's a great bid by the service for expenditure. That I think more of these, as commented during the next year, will be welcome. Thank you.
Good. Councillor Oscar, any other questions for us? So just a couple of things from me. So so obviously the picture is looking very good. So as Councillor Walsh said, congratulations to everybody. One of the other things that we did in the year was pay down debt, which isn't, unless I've missed it, we haven't noted in here. Could you just remind us, I know that we've now got one of the lowest debt positions of any fire authority. Could you just remind us where we are with that? And given what the trajectory looks like, do we think we need to keep that as something that we look at again in terms of the remaining debt to pay down? Just a view on that being really helpful. The other one, I just wanted to understand the whole time establishment again, really great to see the progress that we've made. But the chart we've got takes us to March 24. Can we just get a view on where we are today and what the outlook is so that members can just get comfort that we're sustaining the position on establishment? And could I ask that we, again, really good to see the bank position as well. Could I ask that we start tracking the on-call position, which is a new priority for us to really focus on in here as well. I don't know who wants to take debt first.
In terms of debt, I think our current position is around about £4.5 million. So yeah, we paid off £627,000, I think it was early, at a discount of £45,000, which was obviously helpful. We did look at possibly paying down another loan, so we keep that under review, so we can continue to keep that under review. That will depend on, as we look kind of aligned with CRMP, what upfront costs we need to fund there in terms of some of the transformation work we're doing. Because whether we think we need the upfront cash to be able to fund that, or we can release that to fund debt, so that would be probably around February time we'll make that decision alongside setting the budget in terms of that. The whole time statutory position, yeah, as you see, kind of even kind of a year out, we're still going to be well over establishment. We'll try and keep as close to that 300 as possible. There may be certain times where you have to dip below it. That's the whole point of having the workforce planning reserve, is that when we dip below it, we'll top that reserve up. If we're over it, we use that reserve to fund it.
Sorry, Mark, I don't think we can see you out because the graph takes us to March 24.
Okay.
Yeah. Just we're down to as of today at 306. And that's likely to drop by one more in the not too distant future. We've got 12. We took a decision. We were going to be down at 6 apprentices to start in September, but because we were only planning on 1 leaver per month, but actually that has increased slightly. So we're now bringing in 12 in September, and there's a real good news story on that piece. We're doing a lot of positive action. And on that recruit course of 12, we've got 5 females that went through the positive action process as well. So it's a really good news story in that respect. So that will take us above establishment. But as Mark said, because we've been able to top the reserve up when we were under establishment, that will even that line out. And then the workforce planning group or oversight group now, we'll just keep an eye on that. So yeah, we're currently at 306.
Okay, I mean, I think just obvious statement, but I think members would encourage you to keep above establishment because we worked so hard to get here, and it's painful once we slip back down. So yeah, don't go back down. Would be my counsel.
If we did it, we should be back short period of time. If we've got underfunded spend service, then we don't need to. Like in the budget permanently, with occasionally just drop the fund adjustments the way we do big intakes that can take multiples of six, as Nick said. It's probably well looking at 6 and it's 12. We've got it in 18, so it's hard to get it absolutely precise sort of doing in that way. But yeah, but apologies, I've got this graph and how further is a longer term graph. We look at it on the workforce planning group, does show those coming in, so we'll make sure this is how in the future.
Good, thank you.
On call as well.
Yeah.
Yes, John. So I had a recent update actually from the on-call station commander. Said he's working with our HR team to plan a recruitment drive momentum with the Buckinghamshire shows to have a recruitment drive there moving forward. So we've got have a go days planned throughout early autumn, September time. It's really useful because if you remember we the authority approved the transformation funded for training, so we've got the budget now for a secondary navigators course as well, and that's pivotal in getting people through. So we've got one cohort of on-call going through at the moment, and we've got people on a list ready for to go through the recruitment process imminently. So it's just looking
good,
better.
Excellent. Sorry, Councillor Touchwood, did you want to?
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. One of the things which is good in the report is the capital programme work which has been going on. At some point, because we all represent different areas, it'd be quite useful to see the breakdown of what that capital programme actually delivered. And it's also quite good to see that we are keeping up our equipment purchases because equipment wears out, it becomes obsolescent and whatever. It might be at some point just to understand what the purchases were, not to say that it was wrong or it was right, but so we fully understand what's been purchased, why it's been purchased, so that we understand when you've grown the budget for the next financial year, why we're doing X and why we're doing Y. Because it's important that we don't interfere with the spend, but we understand why it was spent and what it achieved, would that be unreasonable, Chair?
So we do have, the growth bids have been coming to, into executive, so they've been previously collected back to conscious. I know that you're, saying you won't necessarily have seen them, but if you go to the previous exec papers, you'll see what the growth bids were for. So
Information's available, Chair.
yeah, it is, yeah.
Thank you.
And then if in your papers today, you've got an appendix B, the capital programmes for stations. So for example, in Buckingham, the drill tower works, says here are complete. So again, you can see at a station level, and indeed there are also some other Buckingham, the boiler's been fixed and Buckingham was being fixed in Buckingham as well, and yard work. So if you have a look on appendix B, you'll see at station level as well what's being done. So hopefully all the detail is there, but if there's anything else that you don't feel you've got, just let officers know, and I'm sure they'll help you provide it.
Yes, so you mentioned the property council programme just around the equipment. So what we generally do is we'll purchase 2 or 3 fire appliances each year. When we purchase them, we'll get all the new equipment to go on them as well as go along the programme. Fire appliances have a usage life of around about 15 years. So making sure that we refresh those. And so the newer ones have got busy stations, and as they become slightly older, they'll go onto stations, they'll perhaps get less shouts, so there's less strain on older vehicles. But they're well maintained by workshops regardless of their age, as is all the equipment. So I'll just give you that reassurance.
And I know Councillor Stutchbury will be delighted to see the work at High Wycombe as well.
I will be. I am.
The lines are even specifically mentioned. So
I specifically asked that word.
as did Councillor Walsh, to be fair. So good. We can all
We specifically asked for that work to be done. It's been done. So that's
we can all take shared pleasure in that. Okay, so we're being asked. Sorry, just go to the recommendations. We're being asked to note the provisional outturn forecast as at 31st of March 24, that the slippage of 1.3 million on the capital programme is approved to be carried forward into 24-25, that the underspend of 189,000 is transferred into revenue contribution to capital reserve, that delegated authority be given to the Chief Finance Officer to authorise any late changes to the movements in reserves and capital slippage amounts resulting from accounting adjustments needing to be made during the year end close down process, and that should any changes to the amounts referred be to above be required, then the Chief Finance Officer will report these to members at the next available meeting. Are we all happy with those recommendations? Agreed. Thank you very much. Moves us on to item number 9, the Thames Valley Fire Control Service contract multi-agency incident transfer. I won't introduce, I'll just go straight over to you.
Okay, so this paper is just seeking approval for us for the Thames Valley Fire Control Service for Royal Berkshire Fire Property to enter into a contract for mate services. So just for the benefit of perhaps new members on the committee, we work to an inter-authority agreement with 3 services. And part of that agreement, which was set up in 2014, requires me to bring papers back via the joint committee of Thames Valley Fire Control to each respective authority for approval of contracts. So that's why it's a pretty low value contract, and you'll see that it's kind of mostly fronted up by the Home Office for the first 2 years, but that's why it's coming through. So this project has been a national project and it's on a framework. So multi-agency incident transfer is addressing some of the Grenfell recommendations, where it was found that different blue light services aren't able to transfer emergency call information between services effectively. So there's been a lot of development in this field. What we're looking to do is implement the web-based version first, because the technology is quite new, and we want to take advantage of that Home Office funding and get it embedded. There will be down the line an integrated option. Probably the best time to do that will be when we look to renew our mobilising system, which isn't far away. It will be in the next kind of few years, so it will come together quite nicely. So yeah, basically this will tick off that one of those recommendations in terms of implementing that.
Any questions? No? Okay. Just one thing, I do think it would be helpful to offer to new members, and indeed older members that haven't, not in age, but in length of service, that haven't been to the Fire Control Centre, to offer an opportunity to visit it, because it is useful to just understand how it works across the 3 services. So could we set something and maybe do that with the other authorities as well?
They've been really keen to see me. The Thames Valley Fire Control, they're always keen to see me, because they're locked in their room most of the time, and they do like that.
Yeah, it's definitely worth going. Councillor Stutchbury.
Yeah, thank you for the report. One of the things that Chair might need, there is the work that we did on the Glenford Tower side of it, because we're not quite the same as London, but we do have high-rise buildings in Milton, Keynes, and there's one or two in Buckinghamshire. It might be worth giving a briefing note to members that come on the authority about what's been done, why we did it, and whatever, rather than try to reinvent the wheel, because there's been a lot of work undertaken. We've got targets to hit and things to do, and maybe a briefing note with an explanation of why, what, where would be really useful, Chairman. It would save questions being asked at a later stage when the answers have already been given. Would that be a prudent thing?
Sure, officers, we have to do a briefing on Grenfell and our responses, but it's always worth for new members reading the Grenfell report. Anyway,
It's quite long.
yeah, but it's definitely an important. Yes, sir.
And then phase 2 will be being published in September as well. So we'll be bringing a paper back to the authority with the phase 2 recommendations and then what the plan is around those as well. Sorry, Dad,
No, I was just thinking along those lines, Nick, so maybe something about lining up when we sort of introduce the implications of phase 2 to the authority, we can almost give a sort of backward look on phase 1 recommendations and the work that's been done to date. Perhaps we'll do it that way.
Yeah, thank you.
Good, thank you. Okay, so we're being asked to agree that Royal Berkshire Fire Authority be authorised to enter into a contract between Royal Berkshire Fire Authority and AVR Group for the supply and support of multi-agency incident transfer hub services in the Fire Control Centre, and to commence that in 24-25 at a cost of no more than 25,000 for years 3 and 4 of the contract. We have to approve. Thank you very much. Okay, that moves us to item number 10, exclusion of the public and press. To consider excluding the public and press representatives from the meeting by virtue of paragraph 1 of part 1 of Schedule 12A of the Local Government Act 1972, as the minutes and report contain information relating to any individual. Paragraph 3 of part 1 of Schedule 12A of the Local Government Act 1972, as the minutes and report contain information relating to the financial or business affairs of a person, including the authority, and on these grounds it is considered the need to keep information exempt outweighs the public interest in disclosing the information. Are members happy to do so? Thank you very much. Sure.